pretty loud. And the mix wasn't bad. Like, obviously the vocals fade out a bit because they get drowned out, and the guitars, you don't get the full effect of the guitars, but you do get to see my Green Hammer Diablo that I talk about all the time. And that guy's, wow, what about, I'm 22 years old today. You know what I mean? Like 50 going on 22. Like, it was just, I had a smile on my face the whole time watching it. But I was listening to the songs and the songwriting we did back then, so we were definitely, you could hear the thrash metal influences for sure. We were, like, some of the stuff was very normal for the time, so it was kind of like grunge thrash almost. My guitar solos, the thing about all the original songs was they were all, we had them down enough that we could perform them live, because we did take this gig on short notice and we weren't quite ready yet, but we did it anyway, just because we were so anxious to get on the stage and try it. So we'll see if we can bullshit our way. The third thing, and the worst thing of the night was that between the other guitar player and I, we stole all the complimentary beer thinking it was all for us. The waitress, she threw the crate of beer and ice in front of Mike and I. We're like, oh, we just started tying into them. So we were pretty sloshed by the time we started playing. So our playing abilities were probably not a full 10. That given that said, all those little things, that was still a pretty damn good gig for the time and for, what you would expect to do a gig. Like, when you see these really polished off gigs and stuff like that, there's a lot that makes that happen, right? But I'll just say that that was a great blast down memory lane. So I will see if I can get it from Dave. If I can, I can't. But it's Syndicate, first gig live in Ottawa, 1995. Just type that into YouTube. You should be able to find it. And I never realized how fast we actually played on some of the songs. My favorite song is the last song was a Dayglow Abortion. We only did 2 covers. The last song was a Dayglow Abortion song called Proud to be a Canadian. Pretty ripe lyrics. And Scott sang that one while playing drums, which he was quite the drummer. He was quite the drummer for sure. And then the second song, I think, was an Alice in Chains song. And the reason why we threw in cover songs is so that we wouldn't make the bar owner mad. Because, like, back in the 90s, like, you were discouraged to play your own tunes live, and almost all the songs I think are ours. There might be some that are other covers that I don't remember, but most of it, like, as soon as I hear a certain riff, like, I know I wrote that riff. That sounds like me. But my playing style now, how has it changed? Like, because in 2019 I started trying to transform my playing style. And there were some really cool riffs and some cool leads that I did back then. Now, there's a part where, unfortunately, the ballad got screwed up. A whole bunch of scrap metal there. Because what happened was the song, it was really cool because Mike and I started doing dual feedback on the guitars, and then we go into this other song. I can't remember what the name of the song is. It's just one of those smash and back feel good songs. And at the end of it, Dave broke a string on his bass, so he gets off stage and he grabs the other bass. No problem, right? Problem was his backup bass was in standard tuning, perfectly in standard tuning. But the problem with that is we were always tuned a half step low. So with my guitar, with the lights being so hot, it was detuning my guitar a little bit. So I know my guitar was out a bit. But the show must go on, which is too bad because we did this, and I think Mike and I were a little out of sync with the chords, because like the bass was tuned a half step higher, so everything sounded way out, right? And then I think Dave made the adjustment, and after that we retuned, and then the rest of the show was fine. But it's too bad the ballad didn't come out the way I would have liked, because it sounded really good. I don't remember what it was. I know Scott wrote the lyrics for that for sure, and there was a couple of other things, but like, it's just like what a great experience that night was. Like, it still sticks with me to this day. But now to see it, and obviously seeing it from the audience angle is different from what it was from the stage angle. From the stage angle, it was like blistering hot because the spotlights were just way too close on us. At one point, you could hear Stacey go, the lights fucking suck, or something like that. Yeah, so it was like, it was like that. And then, what else remember? But just listen to the chord changes and stuff in some of the songs. And it's like, wow, we were pretty, like, if you could imagine that all polished up, play, like, in a modern metal mix, or hearing it on, like, you know, like a stage, you know, like Walk and Open Air Live, right? That would have been really cool. Like, we were a good band. We were really good. And that was the first show, and we only got better from there. And I think we played 4 nights that week, and it was 4 nights a week until I quit late night in October or November of '95. I remember I had to throw in the towel because I was just so burnt out working 7 days a week between 56 and 103 hours a week, and there's only 168 hours in a week, and yeah, I didn't sleep much. But when you're 22, you only need like half an hour of sleep a night. I mean, it was bad enough that I would sleep at one little short shift for half an hour and then go to the other short shift, and then it was because, like, I worked for a cleaning company and they couldn't keep employees, so I ended up stuck doing everybody's job, right? Because people would get fired and what all that. And I got to wrap up because I got to go to work, but yeah, it's like, what could have been? So Nightwish started at the same time we did. That was us. It was raw. I mean, I'm not gonna say it was a perfect gig and we were phenomenal, but listen to the riffs, and you guys have no idea how angry those guitars sounded. Like those, like that Mike's Dean there, when he starts playing, there's one song we did where he breaks into the riff starting there. It's like that was a pretty kick-ass riff, dude. Like, that was heavy. And again, you guys would only get, like, the bass cuts through obviously whatever, but you could hear how good of a bass player Dave was. Like, we were metal. We were metal. Now, it's different from the metal today for sure. You got to look at it through the eyes of a 1995 lens, right? But like, we were definitely a heavy band. And the Hammer Diablo, unfortunately, you don't get to hear how good that hammer really, really sounded because of the bad audio. But you get an idea of the rig I had, so you can see that same Mesa Boogie cab that you see in all my videos nowadays. There it is on the stage way back in 1995. I bought that in 1991, and I don't know where the 5150 came from, but I know it wasn't mine, and it wasn't Mike's. I don't think he had a 5150. I know he had a crate. I think he just had a crate. I have no idea where that 5150 came from, but you can see my green Hammer Diablo anyway, and then my Les Paul at the very end. And I broke a string on that too. Thank God that was the last song, because I was out of guitars by that time. Missed a few notes, whatever. But there were, man, the wah pedal. I was so crazy on the wah pedal, I didn't realize. I remember because I was a big Jimi Hendrix fan too growing up, right? And the second song there, the Alice in Chains song, I went really apeshit with the wah pedal and that. It was cool. But there was a couple of really cool riffs and a couple of really cool leads that, had I played them a little bit slicker, boy, they would have... I was like, that was some pretty kind of Dave Mustaine kind of... a lot of very George Lynchy kind of licks in there. With the diminished chords and stuff like that. Those diminished riffs. Really haunting sounds and stuff like that. It was enjoyable, guys. It was really enjoyable, and to see everybody having that much fun, it's like, I don't think I've had that much fun since. You know what I mean? Good times, glory days. But you can see why I want to get back into a metal band. Like, I'd like to take it to the next level, because I think if we would have stuck together, obviously, all of us being in our 20s, we drank too much. That was problem number one. So if we would have been sober, it would have been a better show. If we would have had our songs down just a little bit better, it would have been a tighter show. And if the lights weren't so hot, the guitars would have stayed in tune a little bit better. But, they didn't detune that much. And if we didn't break strings, and we made sure that all the other instruments were all in the same tuning, our backup instruments were all in the same tuning, that would have been better. And then, of course, the modern cell phone can do even better now. You know what I mean? But that was a camcorder. And, the audio goes out of sync after, I think, the second song. That was common with a camcorder back then, is that if you had... like if it was just people talking, the camcorder could keep up. But if you had a lot of sound thrown at the camcorder, the bit rate it wasn't digital, it was analog, but the audio would lag because it was trying to take in, I guess, so much information at a time that you could see like Stacy's out of sync with her vocals and stuff like that. But listen to the notes, not so much the quality of the notes, because the quality of